You guys remember a while back when Sydney Sweeney made that ad saying she had good genes and everybody went crazy saying she was supporting eugenics when she just did an ad that she didn't decide for herself? Remember that? I made a video 4 months ago about that when she made the ad and everybody was saying, oh, she's a white supremacist and all this other stuff. And I said, you guys just like putting things on people that haven't made a response yet, and it's really just a lot of interpretations, but I can understand the implications and I can understand the drama because you guys are unemployed and I really respect that. So she finally made a response 4 months later after all the backlash and people bullying her and people only valuing her for her body. So let's go ahead and read the response. I'm going to give my opinions because I think she's doing this because she's losing money. So let's do this. Sydney Sweeney tells people that she doesn't support the views that people connected her American Eagle campaign to. I was honestly surprised by the reaction. I did it because I love the jeans and love the brand. I don't support the views some people choose to connect to the campaign. Many have assigned motives and labels to me that just aren't true. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm always trying to bring people together. I'm against hate and divisiveness. In the past, my stance has been to never respond to negative or positive press, but recently I've come to realize that my silence regarding this issue has only widened the divide, not closed it. So I hope this new year brings more focus on what connects us instead of what divides us. Very beautiful, amazing statement, and that's lovely from somebody that's probably losing a bunch of money because they're realizing that the grifters and the white guys that really like her body are just running away. That's what happened there. And also, you guys remember this facial response right here? Remember this? Where she was asked to disavow white supremacy and then she didn't? Remember that? I do. I remember that completely. And she just said, when I have an issue I want to speak about, I'll speak about it, is what she said. So that was very important. Now, I didn't make a video about the facial response at all because I felt she was saying that the whole thing seems really stupid. I just want to let this go away. But people have been saying, oh, her family's Republican and she supports the dissolution and immigration and all this other stuff. And people were she didn't say anything, mind you. She didn't say a word. That's the crucial screaming null set at the center of this hurricane. She didn't say a word. I just want to point this out. That's the issue for a lot of people. She didn't speak. People say, well, you got to disavow it or else I'm going to assume and interpret, because when you leave people to interpret things for themselves, people are stupid. I don't know if you know that. Me, you, all of us, we're really dumb. We're Americans. We're not very smart. Unless you're not American and watching this, then you're a different kind of stupid, which is even better. She posed. She smiled a contractually obligated smile. She wore jeans that someone else designed and a set someone else built for a concept someone else approved. And then she went home. That's what she did. What she left behind was not a statement. It was a vacuum, a perfect, polished, PR managed void. In nature, especially internet nature, a hole is a vacuum. Oh, a vacuum in this economy? So we rushed in to fill it, not with facts, but with projections. Her silence became the ultimate blank canvas. We painted it with our own anxieties, our political battlegrounds, our historical grievances, our desperate need for a narrative. We looked at the neutral commercial expression, saw a manifesto. By goodness. Good genes? Hitler said that once. We performed a seance on a still image, summoning ghosts of eugenist. Ooh. White supremacy, corporate greed. And we insisted she had summoned them because we love putting a face to the enemies. We built a whole damn haunted house on a plot of land she was just renting for the afternoon. And I can understand why that may be confusing for you to hear because, well, she's famous. She gets to decide everything. No, idiot. I don't know if you've ever seen a movie or ever seen a movie where it's like, oh, well, I don't get a choice over anything I get to do. Nope. She's famous. She's rich, so she gets choice. She has the freedom to do so. She probably can't speak because she'd ruin the campaign. If she disavows the campaign, she loses a bunch of money. That's what it is. Because I've discovered something about people, and it's so fun. Confronting a system is terrifying. It's shapeless. It's faceless. It's a hydra of boardrooms, marketing algorithms, historical inertia, and profit motives. You can't punch a spreadsheet. You can't cancel an industry. Wait a second, but a face? Oh, hold on. A pretty famous 26-year-old face? That's a target you can see. That's a villain you can understand. The instant lizard brain translation is face equals agency, face equals responsibility, face equals guilt. And I've discovered something really cool about this whole thing here. Sydney Sweeney, despite how much you hate Sydney Sweeney, is still a woman. Now, I know there's this divide between black women and white women, where white women are still white, so they have a little bit more agency in things, but they're still women, right? There should be some sisterhood here. I saw no sisterhood in the entire... If you look up the word Sydney Sweeney and go to images, you won't get anything but just maybe some chest shots and just some guy gooning about her face. That's really what you're gonna get. It's really disgusting and depraved. It's nasty. Do not search Sydney Sweeney just with no context. Sydney Sweeney on Twitter. If you have safe search tapes turned off on Sydney Sweeney on Twitter, you scroll down for 2 seconds, you are getting hit with straight nipples. That's what's gonna happen. But she built her entire brand off being a pretty blonde. No, she built her entire brand off of being on Euphoria, and you assigned the pretty blonde role to her because you thought she was pretty and blonde. That's what happened. I don't know how to tell you that. But she was dumb in the show, so I just assume she's dumb in real life. Maybe, who knows? I have no idea. I'm not gonna judge her for her acting because that's ridiculous. You can't do that. That's not how the real world works. I still think the complex, boring, diffuse sin of a tone-deaf marketing campaign, the ad gene with the jeans ads, a sin born from a room full of out-of-touch executives looking at mood boards, gets vacuum sealed and deposited onto the celebrity spokesperson. That's what happened. She became the lightning rod. All the chaotic, legitimate fury about systemic racism, about the weaponization of imagery, about the endless commodification of everything, it all gets funneled into a single convenient point of rage. Her. That's not justice. That doesn't work. It's psychological relief. That's all you want. It turns an overwhelming systemic failure into a simple morality play with a clear antagonist. That's it. Then came the forensic frenzy. Oh my goodness. The digital mob armed with the pause button and a boundless well of unspent critical energy. They zoomed in on the eyes, on the micro expression, on the angle of the smile. They performed behavioral phrenology. Phrenology? I believe it's phrenology. They just did everything. They just kept looking at her face, reading ideological intent into a flicker of a muscle that was probably tired from holding the same pose for 3 hours. See that slight tension in the brow? That's passment endorsement of historical violence right there. The vacant gaze? That's the ghost of eugenics smiling through her. I can feel it. That's not analysis. That's not. That's the human tendency to find meaningful patterns in random noise. I think that's apophenia. I believe it's apophenia. The noise here is the photo shoot. The meaning we find is the reflection of our own obsession. We were staring so hard for a sign that we started seeing scripture and the grain of a JPEG. This is funny to me because I still think she launched an apology because she realized the backlash and wanted money. I still think that. But I also think you guys are really bad at imposing your narrative on people that don't say anything. The only way I can really get my point across is to talk about people such as Marilyn Monroe, or more so, not even just Marilyn Monroe, the white woman as the eternal allegory. This didn't happen in some historical vacuum. In America, the white woman is a loaded archetype. She is both perpetrator and victim, beneficiary and scapegoat, the passive center of 1,000 cultural storms. The history is real and ugly. The connection of imagery of purity, order, and exclusion is documented and painful, but the internet doesn't do application, it does transference. It took this deep, complex societal archetype and superglued it to a denim advertisement. It bypassed all context, all nuance, all intention, and went straight to, this is that and she is that. It's cultural criticism by the way of a tarot reading, vague, symbolic, and revealing more about the reader than the subject. And then finally, she spoke, and the choir immediately screamed, well, this is calculated, opportunistic, careerist. And I think it was, to be quite honest with you. And they're probably, everybody else, they're probably not wrong about this. I don't think I'm wrong about this, and I don't think I'm wrong about it. Hollywood is a meat grinder that treats young women, especially those famed for a specific type of beauty. You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. They're perishable goods. The It Girl shelf. That's what it is. The It Girl shelf life is shorter than a gallon of milk. When the initial heat cools, the calculus changes. Personality, activism, a voice. These become the next product lines, a long-term investment portfolio. But you can't rely on her just having huge knockers and having a tight little butt and being blonde. You got to do something else. But noting that cynical reality doesn't absolve the mob, It just completes the tragic cycle. We create a monster out of silence, then condemn her for trying to tame the monster we invented. We demand a statement, then vilify the timing and tone of that statement. It's a game. It's a game where the only winning move is not to play. But celebrity is a game you cannot quit. So you're a celebrity and the world hates you. So bye-bye. This is what happens when unemployed critical energy meets the attention economy. When people have the tools for deep analysis but no substantive outlet, they will turn anything into a thesis. A gene ad becomes a doctoral dissertation. A model's vacant stare becomes a case study in ideological complicity. It's also what happens when corporations, chronically desperate to seem edgy or meaningful, dip their toes into imagery with historical weight they don't understand, handled by executives who've never had an uncomfortable thought that wasn't about quarterly earnings. They create the spark, we provide the oxygen and the gasoline of our own outrage, and the celebrity in the middle just gets burned because that's a face. This obsession with celebrity opinion is my biggest gripe. We crave their endorsement. We dissect their silences. We treat their Instagram stories as if they're gospel. There are people who live in a parallel dimension of wealth and insulation. They don't know the price of milk. Their world is one of handlers and compounds and creative accounting. Their moral and political opinions are the least relevant, least informed opinions on the planet, and yet we hang on to them. We demand them. We build and destroy idols based on them. These are celebrities, people. They don't care. We replace civic engagement with celebrity standing. We've swapped policy for parasocial relationships. We want Sydney Sweeney to fix racism because it's easier than fixing our own communities. Who cares what Sydney Sweeney thinks about this? We want her to be guilty because it's easier than dismantling guilty systems. Who gives a damn if Sydney Sweeney is I don't care. She's still making millions. She makes more than all of us combined. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You put too much weight on these hyper influencers, these people that are so bigger than life, larger than life. You put too much relevance into their wording. It's worthless. It's genuinely worthless. You know what's beautiful about this whole thing? Here we are. The ad is forgotten. I completely forgot about it until I saw her statement about it. The think pieces are archived. The outrage has metabolized into the next thing. What remains is the pattern. We will always fill silence with noise. We will always personify systems. We will always choose the easy villain over the hard truth. Sydney Sweeney was a blank screen. We projected the movie of our own anxieties onto, and then we reviewed the movie as if she's written the script, directed the scenes, and chosen the soundtrack. The lesson isn't about her. Not at all, realistically. It's about us. About a culture so terrified of ambiguity, so desperate for simple stories, that we turn a woman in jeans into a wartime propagandist just to feel like we understand the battle. The commercial, to me, was not the problem. I stated this 4 months ago. The commercial wasn't the problem. Our need for it to mean something was. The performance is over. The interpretation is yours. Choose wisely, or for God's sake, just go outside. Please. I'm about to go outside. I gotta make a Totoro today. I gotta try to make a Totoro for my wife, and I gotta get materials to actually make the Totoro because I want it to be 6 feet long. I imagine it's probably gonna cost me about $90, so that's what I'm excited about right now. It's our Christmas gift, and I've been thinking about this for quite some time. So thank you guys so much for checking out my content. If you want to follow me on Patreon, it's $1 a month to support videos like this. I release a lot of videos. So yeah, I'm out. Peace. Bye. I'm your Nick and Night, be my Laurel. Happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. Ooh, I love the ride when you're free.